Assalamu alaikum and hi, hope you're doing good. So here I am with a series of video in which we will be learning the software Techlog. The reason to create these videos is to share my knowledge so that someone else can spend less time and learn more and get started with this software. All right, so once you install the software, you will see the user interface like this and you will have gray options. We'll go through the menu and the basics in this video, and then we'll proceed with the real world data and its analysis step by step. So let's get started. So once you see this window, you have to create a project first so that we can upload the data in that. So this is Techlog 2018, and if you have an older version or the latest version, you might see the menu a bit different, but you will always start from the left top. So I can click on the three horizontal lines, and it will take me to a window with black, gray, and white section. In the black section, this is software. This is for the software licensing option and other information. Whereas on the gray part, you can see the project bus information, where an option is active for open project and new project, whereas the other three options are grayed out because these are once you will be creating a project or an opening an older project or you have already made, which will list in here once you have made a few, and you might receive some other project exported from any of the other user, and then you can navigate to it by opening the project and add project and then navigate it to wherever you have saved in the folder. So we'll get started with the new project. Once you click on the new project, you will see a window where you need to enter the project name, which is mandatory, and then you can select the rest of these, which you can change at any point of time, but you have to give the project name. So I'll give it a basics of Techlog. Here we need to select a unit. If you are working with system FPS system, you can use English. I use both, but in this current demo, I'll be using a metric system. So I'll select metric in here. We'll keep the Techlog assignment rules and country. My country is Pakistan. You can always describe in few words. Okay. So this is not mandatory again. You can click on this create project. As soon as we will click create project, you will see a window with all the options active available. And we can get started with the using the software. So I'll go through the menu and step by step, you will see how I'm working with it, how I'm loading the data, and how I use different options when those are required. All right. So to help with the loading of the data, we need to see some further menu, though I can see that this menu, which is quite resembling with the Microsoft Excel. So on the top, you know the name of the, and you will get the idea what could be inside in these menus. So we have home, plot, data, utility, studio, petrophysics, geology, geomechanics, review, reservoir, geophysics. We'll be using a few of these in the beginning, and then we'll go in the detail when we'll be working with the advanced technology usage. So as we are going to upload some data, you might see this tag data option where we have multiple options. We will be again exploring these options when we'll be using it so that it will make more sense. But this is how you can read. So this first part is the project related thing. Then you have the tech report, then tools, which include the pattern symbol, then menus, and then you have the window view and windows. So currently we are we are viewing this window and we can see that we have these options available dock windows, which in this late version, I can see this in here, whereas in the older version, what we were doing, we were right clicking on the gray part, and I think this is available in all the versions. So right click on the right area, empty area, and then go to dock windows, which is again available in here, and we'll be opening some options. Uh, those will help us while we'll be loading the data. So I'll first of all I'll open the project browser, and as you can see the project browser open. Maybe you will see it floating on your screen. So this is how you can navigate, like move it and place it anywhere you like. You will see two options. One is the closing option, and then there is a dash and downward arrow. You can click on it and it will ask you, okay, you can hide it on the left side, hide it on the right side, and hide it to the bottom. So I'll hide it on the left side. And once I'll hover my mouse on it, you will see it will get popped up and I can use the option in it. But now you can see another option of pin. So once I'll click on the pin option, now it is fixed and now this will not hide. Let's open another option, which is called properties. Properties, I'll keep it on the right side, which is correct. Then I'll open another window called zonation, which is the formation tops. So I'll keep it hidden. So once we'll be hovering our mouse on it, it will get pop up and we can use it. So these are the three minimum windows you require. There is another window which we can see for the output. So this will give us some errors. It's good to keep it on the like I used to keep it in the bottom hidden so that once we will be having some error or something, we can see a pop up in here and then we can go to the output and see in it. All right. In the plot window, you can see this is layout, which is log view. You can see uh, an icon which is showing that this will show the log view. Then we have single, multi-well, then multi-well plots and advanced plottings. So you can see the same menu in the single wells and the same cross plot or histogram boxes for the multi-wells. We'll be exploring it. What does it mean and how we can use this? And if we go to the Petrophysics, you will see a chronological order sequence of the menu. You don't need to go in detail. You can see the bottom text so that you can have an idea what kind of tool could be at the top. So it's environmental correction, which we normally do before starting the interpretation. And then we quantify things like porosity, shale volume, and others. And then quanti elan, this is different. Then TBA, NMR, K mode, 3DP, and so forth and so on. Similarly, in the geology, we will have the image log interpretation, image log tools, then ipsum, field base map, and lithology. In the geomechanics, we will be using, first of all, calculating the overburden, then pore pressure, mechanical properties, well bore stability, and then we'll go into the advanced levels. So to do anything out of these options, we have to have some data first. So there are multiple ways of loading this data. First of all, you can click on this import button and it will ask you, okay, so here is the options. If you click on the import button, this will give you an import window where you can see multiple options. If you go through these options, this is Techlog project based data. This is well data. You won't see anything in here. We'll be going in detail in those once we'll be having some data so that we can see, okay, what kind of data it is giving us. So I'll keep it minimum and I'll explain step by step. So as we click the import button, now it's asking what kind of data you want to import. So what you can do, you can click on the select the data type what you want to load. If you want to load a file, keep it in here. If you want to load an ASCII or image, seismic data, Techlog format, or any other, you can select any of these and then click on the folder button and it will take you to the uh, option where you can select navigate to your well data wherever the data is lying and you can select it and it will load the data. I'm not using this, so I have already set up a folder where we have some less file than an Excel file. By the way, when we open the project browser, we open the project browser to load the data, and here we will do everything. The initial part will be done in here. But as you can see, the property window is also changing. Once I'll click any of the other options, you will see the menu getting changed accordingly. So once we'll be loading the data, you will see more changes in it. So how I can load it? I'm not going to use this menu directly. I can simply close this by hiding it. We can also load the data directly by dragging the data, like selecting the files we want to load and dragging it on the project bar, maybe at the bottom bar or plus bar. As soon as you can see the plus icon, you can leave the button. I'll have a good habit to drop it on the project browser so that I know that I want to load this in the project. So I'll drop those files in here, and you will see at the right bottom, you are seeing that import was in progress. And now I can see one well, though I have uploaded three less files, but it automatically recognized not with the file name, but within the file, there would be well name available and it will recognize from those file data that, okay, all of these three files are associated with one well. So let me delete it. and let me load multiple well data. This time I'll be loading a different two different wells data, and you will see what happens. So now, okay, so once we have the data loaded in our import cell, what we can do, you can always click on this cell, this file to load in the well project, or you can select the dataset. Why to select dataset? What happens normally that once you have multiple kind of data, you will see multiple hierarchy of the data available in here, and you don't need to select one by one to push it into the project. Just select the dataset, whatever we have loaded in here, push it, import it into the well database, remove it from the memory, and close the import window. You will see the well has automatically been created with the name of well 1, and three different data sets are being loaded in here. In the dataset, you can see this says 6-inch sonic, this says logs, this says well 1 GRSP. I think the name of the dataset should be descriptive enough so that you can at a glance identify that what kind of data is in this file. So it could be by section wise, maybe by the type. So for example, if I rename, right click on it and I'll say rename, and I'll say this is resistivity data, hit enter. Then right click on this, or you can directly hit F2 from the keyboard, rename. I'll call it nuclear. Maybe we can give it a name of 8.5 inch. Not necessary that you have to give the whole section name. You can give it by anything which you can simply recognize what kind of data is there in it. This is well one. So we don't need well one name in here because the well one is already at the top. So we can have a better name. So maybe GR2 surface data is it. Okay. As soon as we have loaded the data, you can see another two options called family and unit. This is very important while you are loading the data in the Techlog. So you have to make sure that the family and the unit is always there in it. Now I'll focus on the right side properties window. So as you can see, once we click the well, now all the well related information is visible in here. You can click any of the button and you will see the field name and other thing, whatever the information was available in the slash header. If I click on the data set, you will see now the menu has changed and now it's showing that the data set is from the well one. The reference is depth, unit is meter. The data starts from 3480 meter and adds 37558 feet. So you have the idea from which interval the data is in. And simply, if we click on here, you will see this is the data for the 24942 to 3513 feet. Simply, if we click on the third data, so this data is from 3299 to 3400 meters. Okay, so the family thing. So you can see this is measure depth is the reference. Currently, this is all is depth-based data. If we are loading time-based data, the reference column will be time, but we will be dealing with the mainly with the depth-based data. So the reference of all of our data will be depth. If I open this hierarchy, another level, you will see the curves available in this particular LAS file. So in the resistivity file, we have depth, we have compression slowness, gamma ray, tension, and travel time 4 curves. Okay, and with each curve, you see that there is a family assigned to it. If there is no family assigned or no unit assigned, you will see a different color text, which we will see in the next data. So if I open another data set, you will see there is a black text, light gray text, and a red text in the whole file, and with some menu with some icon on the left. So the icon shows if it's a continuous data, it's a plot data, it's point data, it's a dip image or anything else, any flag or something. So you will get used to of the icons shortly. But currently we need to focus on the family and unit. So there should be a family or unit available. If this data is of any use to you and you are going to use it in your analysis, you have to have a family assigned to it and a unit. So for example, if you are loading a drilling data and you have an ROP, So the ROP will be obviously associated with the drilling data, and the unit of the ROP should be there should be something meter per second or feet per hour, whatever unit you are using. And for example, if you have a data a set available, but it does not have the family or unit, how you can assign it? Let me give you a quick demo for that. So let's take this. Let's say that this is FCD raw data set. Um, this is future casing data diameter. So this is casing dia. All right. So if I right click on it, you will see a different option if you are using some other version of the Techlog. Currently, I'm using 2018 and I can see the menu like this. So if I'll click on the right reassign family, you might see the assign family, and then you will have another window pop up, and then you can select from there. Currently, in this option, we have the reassign family. So I want to assign family. I'll click on it. Then I'll click select by manually. Let me do it again. Right click, reassign family, select the by manual reassigning, and here. So as this is casing related data, so I'll type in here casing. Can I see any diameter, casing diameter in here? Let's select. So we have a casing inside diameter, casing outside diameter. So we can use any of these, and you will see a family will get assigned to FCD. So if I'll select the casing outside diameter and reassign families. Now you see the text color has changed from light gray to black, and now it has family and unit both. If you don't have the family and unit, you will see a light gray color. And if you sorry, if you have none of any of these, like if you don't have the unit or the family, you will see it in gray color. If you have nothing, like if you don't have the unit and family both, you will see the text in red. So this is how you can identify. So this is a very basic step. Once you are loading the data, you have to make sure that whatever the curve you are going to use in your analysis, those are those have the family and unit both. So currently we are fine with it. Let's go through this one. So we have the depth as a major depth with same unit, and I think we are good to go. We don't need any of the other options. So that is it. So this is how you can load the data. So while it comes to the loading of the data, you cannot drag and drop the Excel file to it. But you can do that, but let's see what happens. So if I drag an Excel survey file, let's see what happens. So now this is the option. It's showing that it can't read the format of the Excel file. So what we have to do once we are dealing with the Excel based data, you have to upload the CSVs. So we have to Excel, open the file in Excel, convert it to into CSV, and then load it. So let me create it. Create. Okay, to save any Excel file with one tab only, the CSV will get converted only for the one tab. If you have multiple tab, you have to make sure that you are on the right tab which you want to save it as. So I'll click on File, Save as this PC, and I'll change the format from here as CSV, comma delimited, and save. Let me make sure I have saved it in the right folder. Yeah, it is in the same folder. So I'll close this Excel file, and in the folder now I can see a CSV up in here, which I can always drag and drop on the well. Now you can see the same file has been uploaded in this system, and now it's in totally different view. So where you can use it. So before showing that, let me emphasize on the file name. So the file name is set to well-1 underscore survey. So what if you have a proper name convention of a file, the file name will get taken from this. Sorry, the file name will be used to get the well name and the dataset type. So if I'll open the file, you can always add two columns in here for each file. If you want to load it, you can have it well name and dataset name. If I want to have it a different well name, I have a random file name, but I want to use the data get should load in a different well. So let me call it well X, and dataset is MWD surveys. So I'm just giving you another tip that how you can create your dataset and load it in the Techlog. So I have to create two columns, one with the well name, which I want to save this data on, and the second is the dataset name. And I'll save it and close it. Mm. Now, if I'll drag this CSV on the project, you will see the well name is used well X. So the data will get loaded in well X. If the well X is not available in your project, it will create the well and then save the data in. And you can see the data set name is also picked up as MWD survey. So I'll show you both ways. What the important part in this loading part is you have to see on the right top and see if the well name is correct. Currently it's grayed out because you are selecting the well name in here. But if the well name is not in the dataset, you will be able to edit the well name from here. And the dataset name seems to be survey and it's a point data. We can always select it if it's a continuous data like 0.5 or a fixed step value. Surveys are not a fixed step value. These are point data at sometime 100 after maybe 200 feet, 500 feet. So we can select the trajectory from here. And then the data import is from line 3, which is correct. Data, the data variable names are in the row number 1, which is this. Then the unit is in row number 2. If it is not getting selected correctly, you can always select it from the left preview. So the units are in row number 2. So this is correctly selected and we are fine to load. If you have some other delimiters, like if you are loading semicolon spaced CSV or a tab space CSV or a spaced slash file, you can always select it from here. Sometime what happens that once you are loading the data, you will see if you will load the lat long data, you might see the data getting spread out in multiple columns. So from here, you can select none if you don't want to use any delimiter, and it will fix the problem. So why I'm telling you this, because I have some experience of loading the data and spent a lot of time because I was unable to find what is the problem in the LAS. So I got this after spending so much time. Just wanted to save some time of yours. So once we are fine, we can see the data. We can click load to buffers. And now you can see now this file is getting loaded in a well called well X, but we want to load it in well 1. So we are not going to use this set. I'll delete it permanently. I'll go back to the folder. We don't need these two columns. Save and close. This time I will be loading the data. And now what will happen, it could not find the well name in the data set, in the data CSV. So it will give you the menu. It will go to the file name and it will pick the file name, the well one underscore till underscore, it will take as a well name and then survey. Why I'm emphasizing on the file name too much, that once you have so many lasses or files to load, it's good to have the well name in the starting and then underscore and then the log set data name. So this will save you some time to select the correct well. Otherwise, if the file name is random, you have to go and select the correct well name or type in something in here, the correct well name, which can get loaded into the right well. So yes, this is survey data. Previously, we were calling it MWD survey. I'll select the trajectory. We are fine with it. 3, 1, 2. Yes, 1, 2, 3. And then we can click on load to buffers. Oh, something went wrong. So let's see what we did wrong. We'll repeat the process by deleting this data set. We don't want to load it. We'll go back to the CSV, drag it on the system. This is fine. This is trajectory. And here you can see the problem is reference is okay. The depth is reference, but this is not a well name. These are whole deviation or inclinations. So I'll select nothing in this column. We don't need to select variable. We can simply leave these empty. Just keep the reference. There should be a reference in the dataset. Rest changes like the marking the variable type or something, we can do it in the project. And we can also change this dataset type also in the project. So I'll click on load to buffers. Now this is correct, well one. and you can open it and see if all the channels have the family and the unit. You can always change it from here, or you can change it after the loading, which we just discussed. So I'll click on the dataset, push it into the project browser, and you can see a file with a bold name text loaded in it. I'll remove it from the memory, close the window for the import browser, and we are good to go. Now, currently, I can see that the measure depth unit is fit. We don't want this in fit. There is something wrong. So how we can change it? Right click on it. Sorry, just click on it and you will see on the right side, all the associated options are in here. So this is reference. Yes. This is measure depth. Unit is fit. No, we want to keep meter. So I'll select one time. You can always drag and drop and find the correct name. The easiest way is to select, click from the keyboard, M, sorry, just select M and you will see you can see a small m and a capital M, doesn't matter. You can always keep this naming convention. Like if you have already selected M, uh, either of these will work. So I'll select the M for the consistency. And now simply you have changed the depth to meters. We haven't changed converted depth to meter. We have just changed the unit. So as soon as you have loaded the survey data, the best practice is to create the index file for this, which is very important. So before doing anything, any plotting or anything else, you have to create a index file, which is basically the calculation of the TVD and TVDSS for this data set. So to do that, we can go to the data, go to reference and coordinates, click on TVD computation. You can always use Control Shift D and then T. I'll click on it. Now it will show me, okay, these are the wells available. This is the data set available. The system needs the data type assignment is in white and gray cells. So gray are not mandatory, whereas the white cells are mandatory. So if I'll double click on these will get removed. I'll select the correct well. If you have multiple wells, this is important to select the correct well. Then we can remove this book, which is the main families. We can remove the alias. We can keep only the families. So what we need measure depth. So we will scroll down. You can either scroll down or simply click any of the channels and hit M, and it will take you to the M options, which is the alphabetical. So we need the measure data set, click on it, and then click on the measure depth. So this family will get loaded in here. We need whole azimuth is here, whole deviation is here. So we have all three available. We can click create. Now the next important thing is you need to see this window and give it whatever it is required. So it's asking for wells. As you can see, this is highlighted wells. Sometime you will see data set in here. Sometime you will see wells, sometime just a channel. So you have to drag whatever it is required. So if you have multiple wells, I'll select the well I want to use the data to get converted for the TVD and TVDSS and drag it in here. So it has three different LAS files which it want to create the data for. So I'll give it a KB in here, 1440 meter. This is the elevation, which is the KB, Kelly bushing height. And I don't want to fill it one by one. What I can do, I can click on this, right click and fill down. This will fill all the KBs for all the data. We don't need to make any further changes in here. We can always give it a water level depth. Let's call it 1000 meter maybe. Just give entering the random number. You can always give it the correct numbers. You can always select the well in here, and here if you have the latitude, longitude, KB, elevation, anything available in here, you can always use those from the less header. I'll come back to the TVD calculation. So do you want to keep the the calculation continue for the data for the depth interval which is beyond this survey sheet availability? Like if you have the survey sheet available till 3000 meters, but if you have the data till 4000 meters, you can always keep it continue to the end trend. Currently, we'll be not making any changes. We'll be using the minimum curvature method for the calculation of the TVD, which is correct. And then we can click apply. So basically what we did, as soon as we click on the TVD computation, we dragged our well in here, entered the KB elevation and GE, if not picked already from the LAS, you have to enter these two things and click apply. As soon as you will see apply, click apply, you will see an index file created with multiple well paths. So well path can be more than one for different data set. You can always keep only one. I'll delete the rest of the two. So we need only one well path, and we can close this window. So now we are having some data, and now you are familiar with the usage of the windows of the project browser and the properties. In the next video, we'll be learning how to plot the data. See you in the next video. Thank you.